my name's Apisky. Today's video is a special one. We're going to be ranking every water weapon, from water guns to the famous pool noodle weapons you've seen on my shorts. Check out my shorts if you haven't seen them yet. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. The first weapon we have here is the single pool noodle dagger. Very elegant, very swift, quite stealthy. You could probably hide one there. Nope, you can't hide one. So, anyway, what's good about it? So, it's got some very nice, clean, fast attacks, as you can very much see. It's fairly portable for a pool noodle weapon, weapons in general, really. Like, you could just attach it to here if you printed a nice attachment there. You can jab with it, you can slashy, very good. And what's even better, you can use it in reverse grip, which allows you to stab with it, to whatever this is called with it, and a bunch of other cool things. But this is only level 1 of all weapons. But for the first one, I've got to put it solid C tier. Next weapon is the dual wielding daggers. So obviously these are a massive improvement on the single dagger, but it doesn't come with some downsides. I'll explain them later. But first of all, let's talk about the positive. So obviously, because it's dual wielding, you can attack and defend at the same time. Also, your defense becomes a lot stronger because you can trap an opponent's weapon in this cross area you see right here, and then you can fling it away before going in for a rush attack. Now this is even faster than the single dagger, as you have 2 weapons, so you have double the attack. Like that. But there are definitely some downsides. The downside being a lot harder to carry around, and you can't film a short with it because you have to be holding the camera. That's why it's not in my shorts. But just like the normal dagger, you can use it in reverse grip, like this. You can go stabby, and you can do, again, whatever this is called. But the defense does become a lot weaker when you go to reverse grip, because this is a lot more awkward to pull off than this. So, the dual daggers, gotta go with an incredible B tier. Next weapon is the cutlass. Now, this one is it's very different to the daggers, let's just say, being a lot longer than something like this, meaning that you have a lot less leverage the further up the blade you go. So here, you have quite a bit of leverage on your opponents, just like a dagger. Once you go past the dagger, it gets less and less and less. So if you're attacked there, they have a massive lever over you to push you out of the way. Now this is a single wield weapon, and because it's made of a pool noodle, the blade is quite floppy, as you can clearly see. But it definitely has a lot of upsides on the dagger. That being that it's longer. With a dagger, you can only attack about that far. With the cutlass, it's that far. If I can go off the camera, I can't see. So, honestly, not too many downsides apart from the fact that it's not a dual wield. So, for the cutlass, easy B tier. We have my personal favourite weapon, the long sword, or great sword, whatever you want to call it. This has a very clear difference to the cutlass. Cutlass doesn't have much of a cross guard. It also kind of broke last jump film. This has a massive cross guard, meaning that your opponent's weapons definitely will get caught if they go for a close range hand-hit attack. Apart from that, it's basically the same as a cutlass. It's got a good reach over the dagger. It's just about as wobbly. And also, it makes for a great pogo stick on the water. I tested that out. But the only downside of this really being that it's less versatile than the cutlass. With the cutlass, you can hold it in quite a few different ways, especially with this handle you see here. Like you can hold it in what I call the gun grip, you can hold it normal grip, reverse grip. None of it hurts your hands, because this encompasses your hand. This A has a much smaller handle than the cutlass, and B, this massive crossguard is in the way of everything you want to do. Well, not everything. got quite a few things you want to do. When you're jabbing, you're definitely going to get a lot better. You're going to get a lot better purchase with something like this with a massive crossguard. When you're slicing, if you're at close range, you might actually hit your opponents with the crossguard, which won't. Well, on real swords, it doesn't actually do. It doesn't hurt them as much. But pool noodle, it doesn't really matter. They're basically like mini daggers because it's all pool noodle. But overall, the great sword, definitely 80. What you've all been waiting for, the ridiculous bow stuff. This thing is just a nightmare to wield it and also to fight with it. Kind of the same thing, but they're different. Trust me. Normal bow staffs, they are hard, meaning that you can actually hit your opponents. This is really floppy. And normally, all of the weapons, you can kind of use them as a whip if you slam down. This you can't, because you try to, and it just hits yourself, like that. Ow, you're whipping yourself instead of your opponents. But this does have some advantages. Number one, being how bendy it is. If I get a weapon, like a cutlass for instance, you can put it, if you put it here, you can bend the weapon around the cutlass and yank it out the way. That being a very good attack to disarm your opponents. But this definitely has a lot of weaknesses. You come at it with a dagger and you're just cooked. The floppy bends around the dagger, this being a lot faster, meaning that you will get overwhelmed very easily. And, so, yeah, it hasn't got many redeeming qualities, but this is one. You can do cool spins with it, like whatever this is. I call this one the helicopter. And whatever this is, again. Whatever this is, part 2. But yeah, as a weapon, C tier. The first ranged weapon, the pool pistol. Fill it up with water and it sprays out. Like that. So what you do, you put it in a bucket of water, you fill it up, then you would point it at your enemies and squirt them. There's no water in here because I don't have a bucket. This weapon, honestly, is trash. Because weapons with the pool noodles, you hit your opponents, they're going to feel it. They're feeling that. They're feeling this. This, tiny amount of water, nobody's feeling that. Especially if you're in a pool. No one's feeling a tiny bit of water. So he's got basically no power. And unlike most guns, normal guns, you can't dual wield it. Because you have to pump it up and push it out. You can't pump it up with one hand or push it out. But considering it's a ranged weapon over these melee weapons, meaning you just snipe your opponent, you would think that this is, it's much higher than these weapons. Wrong. This thing hasn't got any range compared to the pool noodle weapons. This can probably only fire about 7 feet before it just flops to the ground. Even if you're putting it at max PSI, it's ridiculous. It's not a good weapon. D tier. The big brother of the pool pistol, the pool cannon, as I like to call it. Now, while this does look the same, and it is technically the same weapon at core, it's just a lot better. It's definitely the same weapon. You fill it up, pump it out. That's the basics of these weapons. But it has a lot of advantages. This holds a tiny amount of water in it. You can literally see the size difference in how much water this holds. Another advantage this has is range. Because it's got a better handle and a much longer tube with more water in it. And also, I'm pretty sure it has a finer nozzle. Haven't measured it, but it looks much finer. You can squirt water out a lot faster and with a lot more PSI. So, overall, this is so much better than that one because you can actually snipe your opponents. This grip gives you great grip. So, overall, I would definitely put this at B tier. The final and most definitely the best weapon in a water fight. You have this weapon in a water fight, no one's going to mess with you. But that's if you can get this weapon in a pool fight. This is a very coveted weapon. Almost every pool fight and water fight will have one. It is obviously the ultimate weapon, the hose. this thing obviously is incredible. If you got one of those nice rotating roulette hoses, you can put it on jet mode and snipe your enemies from a ridiculous length away. But even on normal mode like this with no attachment, it's still really good. If they're using one of these pool cannons, they can only hit you with a small amount of water, but you have got infinite water. You can just keep spraying them and spraying them. And if you're in a heated pool, this is cold, so they're definitely going to notice the water coming at them. Another advantage this has is the fact that it's intimidation. No one wants to come near the guy who has infinite freezing cold water spraying at them. But obviously, like all weapons, there are disadvantages. This one's main and probably only disadvantage being that it has a limited range. It can't go all around the garden or pool or whatever or wherever. So if you're trying to snipe someone from really far, but you don't have the special attachment, and it's too short, you can't run after them because it's too short. So you're basically just stuck and you can't have that target. Whereas if that person has this, they can move around however they like and come up to you and pew. Yeah. But considering it is the greatest and the most ultimate weapon, quote, it has to go in S tier. I'm sure lots of you are wondering, how do you make these weapons? Like, they're obviously 3D printed. You can see they're 3D printed inside. You can see all the layer lines. But how do you actually 3D print them? Where are the files? Can I get them? Well, if you don't have a 3D printer, you can't, obviously. But if you do have a 3D printer, if you have the A1 Mini, then you can't print them. But if you don't have an A1 Mini and you do have a 3D printer, like the Bambu Labs A1, the one I've got, you can definitely print them. First, you're going to download the Bambu Handy app. This is just a great app for any people using Bambu because it has a bunch of files that you can instantly send off to your printer. It has a ridiculous amount of files. Then you're going to search up Pool Noodle Weapon, and a bunch of things are going to come up. The ones you want to get are the ones that look like this. This is for the dagger. It has a biting mechanism for a spiral. These are really meant for solid pool noodles, but you can definitely still use them in these hollow ones that I've got. Then you're going to look for the bow staff, and I'm pretty sure there's only really one file of the bow staff. Its insides look like this, so it's not a full circle. It's only like half of it with the grips. And the greatsword has, wait a minute, it looks like this. You can see it's a full circle, and it has these two side ones that look exactly like it, and it also has a ridiculously short handle for you to use, which is quite inconvenient if you're an adult, and especially also if you're a kid. So that's how you get them. And if you don't know how to use Bambu Handy, let me just give you a quick explain. If you know how to use it, you can click off this video now. Click off this video if you know how to use it. Okay, so the people remaining are the people who don't know how to use Bambu Handy. So you're going to select your file once you've searched it up, and then you're going to click print or send to print, whatever the button is on your Bambu Handy version. It's going to come up with a bunch of options, and you're going to first of all select the type of filament you're using. Make sure you select the right type, especially if it's a different type of what it says. If you're printing in PETG, when it says PLA, it's going to put PLA settings and it won't print properly. It can probably clog your nozzle. So make sure it's in the right setting, especially if you can get the brand, because some brands are different. Then select which plate you want to print, which is at the very top. If you're printing the greatsword, you only need to print plate 1, because it's the most important. It's the one. The other plate has just a gem that you put in it. And then you just select print, and it just puts them on your printer, and then it just immediately starts printing. It's super easy. This video is not sponsored by Bambu, by the way. It's just, I am impressed how easy it is. So anyway, that's the end of the video, and I will see you guys next time.